Awesome. Hi, everyone. Hello. Again, my name is Scott Kubie. I am a country bumpkin from the Midwest United States, so very exciting for me to be here in Europe for just the second time in my life. Love all your hand-rolled cigarettes and your extremely small coffees and leather jackets. It's awesome. This is a talk about user experience design. We're at a UX conference, and in particular, I'm going to be talking about the idea of being friendly and designing friendly experiences. I've primarily worked on the content side of digital experiences my whole career, about 12 years now, and something I hear from clients a lot is that they want to overhaul their website or overhaul their app and make it more user-friendly. They understand from their customers that things just feel kind of like stiff and boring and businessy, and they want it to be friendlier. The trouble with that is that it's really hard to design a truly friendly experience without some kind of framework or guidance. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. And in particular, when it comes to content work, content design, content strategy, there's a really common refrain out there in content design, which is to write like a human. You can find all kinds of articles about this, to write like a human. The trouble is, it's a big planet. There are all kinds of humans. So I find the advice well-intentioned, but a little insufficient. You don't want to sound like this guy, probably. Definitely, you don't want to sound like this guy. The thing is, digital interfaces have always been conversational. The interaction between a human and a computer is framed as a conversation. They're becoming more literally conversational. We're talking to them, there are chatbots. But I'm not just talking about conversation design. I mean any interaction between human and computer we can think of as human-to-human interaction. And what's cool about that is that we have been thinking about and creating guidance on human-to-human interaction for a very long time now. This is one of the most popular books in the world, like right after the Bible. It's called How to Win Friends and Influence People, written by a guy named Dale Carnegie, and it was written quite a while ago. So the title of it, for me, was always a little off-putting. It sounded phony. It sounds like this is a stupid, phony business book for phony people who want to trick people into things. Because I was more this kind of person, more of a Holden in my high school years. And so I didn't get around to reading it until later in my adult life, when I actually took a Dale Carnegie training program. And I learned that it's really just a little bit of semantics. What Dale's talking about in this book isn't about tricking people. It's actually the opposite. It's about being incredibly genuine, being yourself, giving a shit about other people, and using that to lift up both of you together. So in the program, I received a little book as part of an award, not to brag, but I was the best speaker in the class. And the book summarizes, there's a lot more in the book, but the little book summarizes Dale's, what he calls 9 golden principles for being a friendlier person. And I'll repeat this one again at the end if you don't catch the picture. But Dale's 9 golden principles for being a friendlier person. And what we're all going to do together now for the next 20-odd minutes is look at these principles in the context of user experience design. So human-to-human interaction, manners, politeness, just what it takes to kind of interact well with other people. I think we can bring that energy into our apps, into our experiences, into our products and service design. So I'm going to share each of these principles, tell you what I think they mean in a UX context, and share a few examples. The first principle, don't criticize, condemn, or complain. This one sounds simple, and it is. Like other simple axioms, always tell the truth, do unto others as you would have them do unto you. If you apply this really thoroughly and consistently in your apps or in your life, it has a huge impact. But doing this can be really, really hard. My experience of working with product teams is that it feels like instead of Dale's book, they maybe have been working from this book. Which is not a real book, but it could be. Right? Any old schoolers, do we know about the PEBCAC problem? Sometimes development teams will describe something as a PEBCAC error. That's an acronym for problem exists between chair and keyboard. right? We love to blame the users for the gaps and the difficult things in our experiences. And it sneaks in all kinds of subtle ways. Your margins are pretty small. Rude, Microsoft, rude. This pattern is absolutely everywhere. This is probably one of the most common interaction patterns we have out there. I would argue that this violates the first principle. It is suggesting that I have forgotten my username or that I have forgotten my password when maybe something else is going on. There could have been a connection error. There could have been something that's wrong with my password management software. It could be that someone else created the account and now I need to access it, whatever it might be. But just that little word, forgot, puts the blame onto the user and not the system. We'll talk about how to fix this in a moment. Is anyone familiar with confirm shaming? Is this an idea anyone knows? It's one of the deceptive design patterns that is unfortunately increasingly popular. These are a little hard to read, especially in the back, but I'll share some with you. This is, again, the wrong thing to do. So here the cancel button says, I don't want to know about power breakfasts. No thanks, I don't want to have more fun on my bike. No thanks, I'll keep procrastinating. I don't want ideas. No, this is my favorite. No thanks, I prefer dirty sand and cold beaches. So I mentioned every interface is a conversation, right? And these kind of make it explicit in that the user has to respond with whatever you've given them. So not only is just the design a little unfriendly, but you're actually kind of forcing words into the user's mouth, which I would argue is a pretty bad practice. All right, in this example, same problem, two different ways of solving it, which is that the device needs to do something and there's no internet connection available. So the one on the left here, I would say is a pretty good one. Right, I'm in airplane mode. This is a PEBCAC problem. It's my fault. Put my phone in airplane mode. Obviously, there's no connection. But the message doesn't blame me and say, hey, dummy, you've got airplane mode on. That's why we don't have any data. It's talking about the internet connection. That's what's offline. No problem with me. The one on the right here for y'all is says that, uh-oh, it looks like you're offline. It's blaming me. I'm not a computer. I'm not offline. My phone is offline. Maybe your app is offline. Maybe your stupid servers are offline. And this error actually isn't even correct. So again, subtle. This is very old. You get to see a picture of me here larger without a beard. This is from Trello. Fantastic job of not blaming the user. My credit card had expired. Extremely common pattern. The lead line is there's an issue with Trello Gold. There's an issue with our product. The issue with our product is that we're having trouble processing your credit card. Right? Again, really my fault, not actively my fault, but my credit card expires. They don't have any control over that. I don't really either. So I'm not being blamed in this messaging. They're saying we're having trouble with it. And this little line here that says you are overdue, I would argue not criticizing, complaining, just a statement of fact. Your bill is overdue. We're trying to get it paid. That's information I would like to know. So that's the first, and I would argue one of the more important principles. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. And if you want to make this actionable in your organization, this is something you could bake right into your style guidelines. This could be on a content quality checklist. At any point, are we blaming the user? Are we putting it on them and not on us? Second principle, give honest, sincere appreciation. In summary, this is saying avoid flattery. Really important human-to-human interaction principle. Don't blow smoke up somebody's backside. They'll know that you don't really mean what you say. And in my experience, we rarely know our users well enough to truly compliment them or offer appreciation. My general recommendation is just skip it. Don't even try. Because otherwise you end up with stuff like this. Some disembodied voice from the larger Amazon ecosystem telling me that they love me, which immediately reminded me of this important American documentary film. I don't know if anyone's seen it, Idiocracy. It's about real life in America today, where the greeter at a Costco, which is a big convenience or big grocery store, is telling people that he loves them, which is obviously not true. Another place you see this all the time, I'm constantly getting congratulated while I just go about my daily life. empty flattery. I'm congratulated for signing in to my grocery store account. I'm congratulated for an error, apparently. For Firefox updating itself, I get congratulations. Congratulations, your password has been changed. Right, when is the last time you congratulated someone? They got married, they had a baby, they got promoted, they changed their password. I don't understand. Congrats on your COVID test. Ooh. Let's read that one. I wish I had found this one. Screenshots of Despair, excellent website. So some things to watch out for: automation, right? Automated personalization is, I caution so freaking strongly against personalization, you have no idea. I'll talk about a better way to do it in a little bit, but it goes wrong just as often as it goes right, and you end up with stuff like this, where your app is now inadvertently being sarcastic. Although it's very funny. Here's one I don't mind so much. I think this is decent. Apollo is a Reddit client. There's only so many moments in this whole app, right? It's very single-serving, very purpose-built. I upgraded to the premium version, which for some people maybe is exciting. You know, they have a lot of younger users on Reddit. Maybe somebody saved up for it. There's confetti, fun little check mark. They also show their appreciation for me within it, which is a principle we'll talk about in a moment. So avoid flattery. Stop using the word congratulations. Just stop, please. This is really hard to automate. One of the best ways, if you really want to show appreciation for people, you need to empower your team, empower your customer support team, have generous policies that lets people, give them credits back on their account, easy returns, all that kind of stuff. But you're not going to do it with just words. More old-timey language in Principle 3, arouse in the other person an eager want. This is about if you want to get energy and enthusiasm back, you have to put energy and enthusiasm out there. If you want to motivate someone to do something, you have to use a little bit of exciting language. This is not that. Learn how to do more with iPhone. Cool, neat. Learn more, learn more. We see learn more everywhere. It's the flattest call to action text you could possibly have. It's bad for accessibility reasons, but it's also just bad because, come on. Really? Learn more? No, thank you. We have a lot of empty FOMO, fear of missing out, marketing, right? This one, and I love the Bear and Fig brand and their notebooks, but this basically says, hey, you haven't given us any money for a while. You want to come back and give us some more money? Not very exciting, not very exciting. Old pattern that LinkedIn, I think, in part pioneered, that I think is really successful in this way, is this profile completeness bar that they had. If you're someone like me, being so close to the finish line, that is motivating. That creates an eagerness in me. You know what? I maybe wasn't going to bother with the rest of these little settings or things to configure, but I would really like to be at 100%. So I might feel motivated and eager to move through and do that. Speaking in terms of my interest is a great way to motivate people. There's a call to action. You want $3,500? Create an account. Yes. Doing it. On it. An aspiration is something that I would say can create an eager want. I'm a big fan of Adam Savage of Mythbusters fame. He has a great YouTube channel. I want to be more like him. So in this old homepage from Evernote, I go here. I see this happy, successful person that I want to be more like, looking so happy and successful. That is getting me a little bit excited. That's better for me than a list of features and benefits for what is effectively a commodified app now. Everyone has note-taking apps. So this aspiration to be like this person helps create an eager want. This takes effort in small places to do well. The more rushed your design and development process is, the harder it's going to be to do this. The more you're going to find yourself defaulting to learn more or other flat, disinteresting things that won't motivate people. So create a little room. If you aren't already working with a content person, maybe just as a team, scope out half a day, a 90-minute workshop to just think about what can we do to improve the language and get people more excited. Our fourth principle, become genuinely interested in other people. In the book, Dale talks about how this is something that you can't really fake. And so contrary to my initial concerns about the book, he really emphasizes the idea that you're not going to be successful, you're not going to have positive human-to-human interactions that elevate you and your goals if you don't really care about other people. If you're selfish and self-centered, only thinking about yourself, it's not going to work. If you are business-centered, if you are revenue-centered, we talk a lot about user-centered design, but so many of our processes really focus on the business. So you can't fake this. I see this kind of messaging all the time where people purportedly are interested in me, but it's really, right, the Container Store here, they're just trying to get some demographic info to market to me more effectively. I don't feel like they're genuinely interested in me. I get survey requests all the time, which strangely talk about how much the company loves feedback, not how much they care about me and my opinion. Everyone has to tell us how much they love feedback now. Good for you. I don't give a shit. So the principle is not appear genuinely interested in other people. It is become genuinely interested in other people. If you're not doing the kind of research that helps you feel interested in other people and centering them, Erica Hall's excellent book, which just got a new version, Just Enough Research, is a great place to start. You could also look at your design processes and conversations. If what you're always starting from is some sort of roadmap, some sort of burn down chart, something that is just constantly talking about what we're building and delivering, even a small step like taking 30 minutes to fill out a lean canvas or a business model canvas, which invites questions about customers and what they need, can help you start to be a little more interested in other people. Sometimes the right answer for this principle, if it's really difficult, if you're having trouble executing on it, you might be in the wrong organization. It's hard as a junior or mid-level practitioner to change the whole organizational culture, to not be doing design theater, and to actually care about people. So that's something to consider in this very competitive market right now. The fifth principle, smile. So as I mentioned, I'm from the Midwest in the US. I haven't traveled very much. It's a little intimidating to me to be traveling in Europe, being in a new place, trying to figure out which of these is the vehicle lane and which one is for bicycles and how am I not going to get smushed out here. But I've been having a great time because of the friendly people here. Right? People always say that offhand, oh, the people there are so friendly. But it makes a massive difference in your experience of something if people are genuinely friendly and offer you the occasional smile. It's disarming. It puts people at ease. Importantly, the principle here is smile. It is not shove delight into every moment of your experience. If someone is smiling constantly, that person is a creep. That's bad, right? Smiles happen at the right moment. A lot of you are smiling just now as I made a joke, but then you go back to normal face. Here's a little one, maybe a simple example. Little things like this. Hey, this is the most boring message in the world. They just have to share it with you. This had to get posted. It's got a little hey there in there. That feels like a friendly hello, a friendly greeting. Being voicey. We talk about being voicey sometimes as products. I like this. This is for a record company. So, they're just using some kind of fun language as you go and redeem a download code. That feels like a smile to me. Sometimes it's more explicit. Loading screens, interstitials, email teasers. These are good moments. Hold on. They got a little poem here. Hold on just a smidgen. If I was a bird, I'd be a pigeon. I love it. I love it. And Slack does this a lot too, as many of us are probably famously aware. Right? It even has the word friends right in there. The day just got better. Okay, this next one is one of my favorite interaction moments ever. I think this is one of the best things. Does anyone have a Fitbit, like kind of the simple basic Fitbit? A few out there. So the Fitbit has this little bitty LCD screen. Itsy bitsy bitsy. When you plug the Fitbit in, the screen switches over to show you the battery charge level. When you're wearing the Fitbit, it's giving you fitness information. It's telling you the time or your heart rate or something else. But there's a moment in between unplugging it and putting it on your wrist. And what they decided to do with that moment is put this little message. And they have a few of them in there. A little smile from a device using a word at a well-timed moment. Perfect. It's friggin' perfect. So, look for opportunities in your experience to create little moments where you are smiling. Even in a difficult experience, which we're going to hear more about in a moment, a smile can be really reassuring. It doesn't have to be goofy. It doesn't have to be funny. It's just a moment where you are human with someone through your experience. Principle 6. A person's name is to that person the sweetest and most important sound in any language. I wish I was better about this in my personal life. I'm pretty awful with names. I'm working on it. I'm trying. But it's a simple detail that you must get right. You have to get people's names right. I don't have this material in the deck, but it's especially important if you are working in an international context, if you have a lot of users from a lot of different backgrounds. Like, names can be 2 characters. That's okay. Don't have a character limit on your names. Be very open and flexible about how people enter their names because it really matters to people. The names are very important. What you don't want to do is what happened to this poor Comcast customer. Look, and this is just customer service leaking through into the interface somewhere, but someone was having a bad day, and this guy got a letter directed to I don't think that's his name. But if it is, you got to use it. You got to get their name right. I invoked him earlier, so I apologize for 2 Trump references. Fuck that guy. But this is interesting, right? So the man famously has no attention span. So one of the things that they do in the security briefings that they had is they just shove his name throughout the document because that keeps him reading. People like their own name. It's great. You've been hearing it your whole life. Hopefully you have positive associations with it. If you have a new chosen name, hopefully people are using it and you have positive associations with that. It really, really matters. And you'll see when it doesn't happen, it's a real whammy moment. You know, personalization gone wrong. This happens all the time. But it sucks. It feels really bad. There's 2 in this one. So I'm Scott Noel Kubie. Although that's actually kind of an awesome middle name, but I think it would break some systems. And then furthermore, what's weird to me is they know my name enough to fill it in here, but they're still addressing the letter to Dear Customer. Per the title of this talk, I actually don't mind the word user. I use it a lot in my work. We can talk about that, pros and cons at the party tonight. But I can tell you one thing, user is not my name. It's not my name. So, names can be literal names, but something you see from a lot of successful brands and bigger companies. I don't have a Facebook account anymore for reasons. But when I did, look at this. This is just in the top third on even the smallest screen. So there's my name and photo. There's my photo inviting me to say something. A little smile, a little friendly hello with my name. And it's also reinforced up at the top, right? Facebook has gotten a lot of people using their software an awful lot. So hopefully you can borrow this and use it for less nefarious purposes. And remember how important people's names are to them. You can do that on mobile as well. It feels, your designers are going to say, oh, we just don't have that much real estate. It doesn't feel like this is an important detail. It's not important to the function of the app. It's important to making your app feel friendly. It's important to connecting with people on a human level. Google News on my mobile phone, there's my photo, a little hello, and there's my name. For re-engagement, you can use it there. I didn't have an account at the time when this loaded, but Netflix remembered me that one time I did. They'll probably need to be doing this again quite a bit here soon. Let's put your name in there. So, a person's name. incredibly important. You have to get it right. Let people use their real names, the names that they prefer in your experiences. And I would say, master the basics before you get into personalization. You're going to get a lot of promises from people selling personalization technology. Some of it works pretty well, but you've really got to nail the details on that. 2 principles left. If you win friends by listening, not talking. That's what Dale Carnegie tells us. So in user experience design, you could think about this. Steve Krug famously tells us to avoid happy talk on our websites. We don't do this so much anymore. But if you've been on the web a long time like me, every website used to have hello, welcome to our website. We're so glad that you're here, blah, 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 blah. So this empty happy talk where you're talking about yourself, all the executive bios, photos of the company picnic. I'm cleaning this stuff up in enterprises all the time. It's about the company, it's not about the user. Really cool framework that I love from an article that I'll cite in a minute is called the Wilty-Wilt test. That's how you can pronounce it. And it's an acronym which helps you remember the phrase, would you like to? Would you like to? I would like to. Would you like to? I would like to. This is the conversation that humans and computers are having all the time. So you can look at a button and ask yourself, does it pass the Wilty-Wilt test? Because an action button in an interface, very strangely, this is where we diverge a little bit from true human-to-human interaction, is a button that says something like compose. Is the computer asking me, would you like to compose? Would you like to compose a new message? And me clicking on the button is me saying, yes, I would like to compose a new message. Would you like to try it now? I would like to try it now. So the best user interface texts, especially for your interactive components, are going to pass this Wilty-Wilt test. The computer asks the question, and the user can answer with their response. Where it all goes to pot is when companies start to bake words like my and your into feature names. We're no longer passing the Wilty-Wilt test. Would you like to please enter your my account password? Yes, I would like to please enter whose password is it now? I'm getting very lost. Would you like to view my network? Your network or my network? And I get a lot of pushback on this, actually. People will say, well, it's actually not that confusing. We did some user testing on it. But it's shaving milliseconds off that cognition, I promise you. And just as an editor, as a writer, as a voicey person, if you don't trust your content people and anything else, please just trust us. We keep citing studies and finding things. Don't put your and my in the feature names. It's not working. It's not working. To wit, if we apply some of these principles and the Wilty-Wilt test to this example from earlier, how do we fix it? Would you like to forgot your username? That doesn't make any sense. How about recover username? Now we've actually killed 2 birds with 1 stone. We're not blaming the user, and it's more conversational. Would you like to recover your username? I would like to recover my username. Would you like to reset your password? I would like to reset my password. I mean, really, I would not like to, but I need to. So I would like to reset my password. So use the Wilty-Wilt test. This is my best advice for being a good listener and making people feel like they can talk and that you're not putting words in their mouth. Principle 8, talk in terms of the other person's interests. Love this example from Runkeeper. It's not just nagging me like a certain green-birded language app. I set goals within this app, and it's reminding me that that was my goal. So it's speaking in terms of my interests. Great benefits copy from FreshBooks. A simple way to speak in terms of the other person's interests, talk more about benefits than features. These are things that any small business owner wants. Save time billing, get paid faster, grow your business. It's not talking about the performance of the app or how many features they have. It's benefits to you. So talk in terms of the other person's interests. And then finally, make the other person feel important, and again, do it sincerely. Gratitude is a great way to do this. Everyone has badges and trophies now, and it's driving me up the wall, personally. I don't know what this is, but I'm being congratulated for I'm skipping that one. We use the language of trophies, the tropes of trophies, right? This looks like I've won some sort of award at a prestigious film festival for being 2% fluent in Spanish. So how do you do it sincerely? I love this. Hover is a commodified platform. You can buy domain names almost anywhere, which they say exactly that, and they're so grateful that you bought your domain name from them. So use gratitude to make other people feel important. Do it sincerely. No criticism. Show sincere appreciation. Create an eager want. Be genuinely interested in people. Smile. Use their name. Listen. Talk in terms of their interest. Make them feel important. Even just a handful of these, if you apply them as principles to your experience, I promise you it's going to feel friendlier, your users will be happier, and everybody's going to have a much better time. Thank you all very much.